social media login helps you identify behavior a little bit. And because it's very fast, there's no harm in asking him his social media. Now I think the important parts, more specifically for insurance. So he starts a video. He does two things. One is he takes a picture in a static mode, and you ask him to say something in a random mode. And obviously all of this is recorded. There's a lot of other data that is recorded at the back. The other important thing he does is he e-signs certain terms. So the way to e-sign is, rather than ask him to upload a document or send a document, you just display those terms. Similar e-sign, gets OTP, signs this document. And obviously he then also signs all the other documents that he may have uploaded as attestation. So in about a minute and a half, he has kind of given you the very similar data that he gives you today, and obviously completely digitally from verified sources. Now, for the backups user, what the backup user gets is actually loads of data. From a very simple onboarding, he ends up getting obviously all the form data so today you have these long forms with all that data, so he 100% gets all that huge amounts of data that he is so used to at the backups, but completely digitally captured, and obviously other little bit of smart analytics insights. For the documents, he can download a signed copy of the agreement as well as the attested ones if he wants to. The other interesting part is, and obviously we have tried to modify the lending use case, so maybe it will look more like lending, is that there are four kind of concerns. One is there an identity fraud? Is there credit risk? This is, I think, more true for lending. Is there a behavioral risk? And obviously video. Is this the same guy who's giving his data as in the form? So I'll just quickly walk through and go directly to the video part. The rest I'm assuming you guys would have kind of joined the dots and figured out. So all those checks are made, and again, that data is now digitally available, a lot of the rules. So now coming back, going to this video one. So here actually two things I have to take care for. One is it's not pre-recorded, and the other is face match. So it matches the face that is obtained from eKYC against the one that he clicked. And the other score that I put is whether it's pre-recorded or not. So on the left, those two are here, like shown here. So now obviously it's up to the risk guy what call he wants to take with these two dashboards. But the algo also throws up saying, according to me, this is the risk in the two. So this is, thank you.
I have the same question. Can you just talk to us about the comparison part? How do you know it's a face, it's not a photograph? I know you took a video,
sure.
But where did the image go? Because I didn't see an actual comparison happening between the two photographs that were
shown. So I put this slide just to, because this serves as a good background. So the way we do it is not possibly like what Jumia and other companies do. So the way we do it is that we rely on good third-party face matches. And also in other technologies, we do that. What is the benefit? So what we have seen happens is, even for the exact same two images, these technologies have very different results. So we rely on IBM, Google, Microsoft, and there are other companies which you may not know, but having done a lot of testing. So what it ensures for our customer is that he gets world-class technology. He doesn't have to go to every player. And every time a face match comes to us or a document comes to us, we send it to 4 players at the same time. So you get much better performance than one single player. So we serve more as the middle layer, as it's shown in the diagram. Yes, there are some things we build. So NLP is something we have built because it's very context-based. So I have to go and, for example, I have to build an NLP around PAN, around Aadhaar. And obviously, global technologies won't build that. But core technologies such as face match, OCR, that I rely on a global player. And I keep sourcing the global best player. And at my end, I keep changing my algorithm of who to hit, how to take their data and give a final response.
Is this live with a customer at this point?
Yes, so I had a customer thing also, but if the question is on insurance, no. Insurance, it's not live with. And it's not live in the, like, obviously the insurance use case is not live.
On the social thing which you showed,
Yeah.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Facebook and other things, are you also looking at income calculation using those methods?
No, because income is available very well from two sources, bank account and ITR. So, although I don't know, see, to be honest, we don't have very good context of insurance, so I cannot say it. But in lending, the user is very happy to give away data, but maybe in insurance is not. So, and maybe in insurance you cannot force him to give ITR, you just want to estimate. So, I can't 100% say how it works for insurance, but in lending he's very happy. He doesn't mind giving either of the two. And from those sources you have very, very solid data. So, social media is A, re-verification of stuff, re-verification of your IDs, second behavior. These are the only two things we think they add value. Rest, I think you have good data in other sources.
You briefly mentioned about relying upon IBM and Google's of the world and
Yes.
a couple of other additional sources,
Yes.
and using their APIs to drive some of the features of your offering.
Yes.
What is the value proposition you have on table? If some other company were to come and use IBM and Google's
Yes.
API and develop the same product, what is the value add that you are bringing on table?
So the value proposition is the middle layer that's again shown on the slide. And obviously in technology anyone can build anything. So it is about how fast you understand the market, how fast you are with that product. For example, we came up with the insurance use case just to be here. We have never worked with insurance. So how fast you are working close to the customer's problem versus just coming up with the technology and saying, so rather than trying to build a great AI ourselves, we say, okay, if these 4 problems are solved, NLP is not solved, so NLP is not great. We do much better NLP on these than any of the global players. Why? Because we just focus on the problem that's unsolved and solve that. So, but technology, anyone can build anything. So I would never say that in technology there's ever advantage to anyone except if you have patents.
You briefly mentioned about the rich customer profile that comes through as a result of you having tied up with some other third-party sources of data.
No, sources of data we haven't tied up with anyone. For AI, so if you look at this one, so AI technologies is which we are sourcing. Databases we are directly consuming or getting licenses or subscriptions to.
So if I am the user, how much time will I have to wait for until the entire authentication gets completed and the customer demographic details and others are shown up?
So, okay, so the front end is obviously faster because I don't want to do a check real time when the user is there. To the backups guy, especially in this user case, obviously it's in minutes, like it's 5 to 6 minutes, but it can come down also if you want to really like make it fast. You can hit everything at the same time and have larger servers and stuff. But we don't see a need to cut down that time. Like you can cut down that time by increasing computing power, increasing server base, but we don't see a need for the backups guy to get something fast. For the front end, yes. So all the front end verifications or front end validations should happen very fast. So the backups, you can send data. It's better to in fact send good quality of data than try and even reduce time by like 5 minutes and lose on 5% data. I would rather have 5% more data and take 5 more minutes.
Who are your competition and how do you create your USP with respect to your competition?
So globally, obviously, Trulio is there, and I think Jumio gives their product to Trulio. So these players are there. But in India, actually, we have seen 2 kinds of companies as competitions. One is companies who have been doing this in offline world for like last 10 years. And now with Indian government being so aggressive with digital APIs, they are now realizing they need to go digital and they are going digital. The other set of companies are who have no background, but they have gone live with Aadhaar stack because it's a very thin, there's no cost to really go live with Aadhaar. So these are the 2 kinds of competitions we are seeing. One which is very narrow, very focused around Aadhaar. The other older players who understand the industry better than us, but possibly are clunky, moving slower.
I think a few months back, digital was the most abused and overly used term, and you also used the term smart analytics when describing your offering. Can you dwell a little into what exactly is smart in the analytics that you've implemented in your offering?
Did I use that term?
You did.
Okay. So maybe I didn't mean analytics because, as you said, analytics is a very abused term. So it's not okay. So I'll take back the word analytics. So it's smarter stuff, such as today backups does very simple things. They are not also smart, but smart in the sense of technology that I'm trying to match names in two IDs and two documents. So the way today it happens is even if there is a name mismatch, so then it has to go through 3 cycles in backups. And so you have a backups team whose only job is to look at 3 IDs and match the name if it is matching address, even if slash is different, then report slash is different, move forward. So by smart, I meant that this entire backups gets automated and the advanced dashboard actually automates this part, which is not smart, and it's not analytics also. But this is what I meant.
The another term I have noted is behavioral risk. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, behavioral risk is interesting. So it's obviously assessing behavior as an art. The good part in the offline world is, as a human, I can always say I have this art. And so as a digital company, you can never go and argue that, okay, you don't know, like you cannot assess someone's behavior because it's an art, so nobody can know how good you are. So there are two things or two sets of data we think can help. One is obviously social media. So I can give some insights which the human cannot give. So in which case I can say, okay, maybe you can assess some behavior, maybe social media can some assess behavior. In terms of insurance, maybe I can find out if you have a healthy lifestyle based on how you react if you're a smoker, you're a drinker, which possibly a human cannot. So maybe I get an advantage over the human. And the other in lending, maybe not true for insurance, is how you spend. You're a saver versus a spender, whether you have monthly payments going out to stuff, and how do you spend? Do you spend in a randomly fashion or you're very structured? So those are the two we think which give you behavioral insights into the person beyond the data.
In the implementations that you have done so far,
Yeah.
For some of the financial services clients
Sure.
that I don't think we have discussed that, but can you give us some of the challenges that you have encountered during the implementation?
Yeah, so obviously one challenge which I tell everyone is that they have been doing stuff in a way for 10 years now. So when you go and show this video, the business guy says, okay, I want this. But by the time it ends in a actual product, it has like 20 more fields. And so that guy is now filling, so while you had imagined something so smooth, him not filling anything, now he's filling 20 text entries. So obviously, so that is one challenge. The second, obviously, tech challenges are also there, that OCRs aren't perfect, AI isn't perfect. As you said, I don't think face match is perfect by far. I don't believe what Jumi was saying. You cannot. In fact, you cannot find out if in an old ID that guy is the same. You cannot. What we have seen from our experience is if a human cannot detect it, the technology cannot detect it. Humans are still smarter, at least as face matching. So this has to be understood that these technologies are not perfect, but even if I can offer 60% of my consumers great experience, it is a good thing. I cannot wait for them to be perfect and then say only if it works in 100% of the cases I will use you. That's the other challenge.
Just wanted to know a little bit about your sales cycle.
About?
Your
sales cycle. Okay, yeah.
And your go-to-market. Like,
Yeah.
Are you going directly to consumers? Are you using aggregators or BPO companies like Accenture to partner and go to customers? What's your model?
So we are enterprise. We started as a fintech-focused company, but we realized very fast that fintechs aren't scaling as fast as possibly they scaled in the US. So we then started approaching banks and financial institutions. Sales cycle is 6 months in a bank on average. 3 to 6 months in NBFC. Although, yeah, and in a fintech, a month. So this is the cycle. In fintech, you are talking to a decision maker, he takes decisions on almost everything. In NBFC, they are not so concerned about few things, so maybe 2 decision makers are dropped out. In a bank, you have like multiple decision makers, multiple people who can say no at any time. So it's like I mean, you guys would know much better.
Have you seen any of the large BPO companies do this, and have you thought
Okay,
about
partner, yeah, the other thing about partners. So what I feel, like obviously we are a startup, I may be wrong, but what I have felt is that I don't think the banks want to listen to the consultants. They want consultants to reach out to companies and then let them be, then let them interact directly. I don't know what's the exact reason that they don't want a large company to come up with a large solution and then say, okay, use you. They would rather have them just saying, okay, these are the companies, and then let the bank's internal team and the companies figure out how to work. So what we feel is it's actually faster to approach directly and talk to people directly. And obviously these companies are great and they help you, but I don't think they help you in the sales cycle.
Judges, are we done?